Capricorn, the mountain goat. Here's your reading for October 2017. As a reminder, guys, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Also, if you would like to book a private reading, please see the description box with the link there upon how to obtain one. And also, guys, remember that these energies can cross over and the messages can cross over as well. So either this is coming from you or coming to you. So apply it to your guys' unique situation. So let's go ahead and bless the decks and we'll get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors, lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede this reading to provide Capricorn with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, and please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay every single message as they are meant to be. Okay, Capricorn, you're coming into the reading with the King of Swords or King of Wands reverse. Capricorn, Cappy. I must ask you, Capricorn. So you're convincing yourself, or let's say you're attempting to convince yourself this month, which, hey, it can be a coping mechanism. I completely understand. But I must ask you, Capricorn, how's it going for you, you know? I also feel avoidance as well. I'm also picking up on maybe kind of going along with like your own delusion. I know those are very strong words, but you understand why when I go through the whole spread with you, okay? So here we have in traditional tarot, we have the Queen of Swords, we have the Lovers card, the Moon card reversed, the Seven of Cups, we have the Page of Swords reversed, and the Nine of Swords reversed. You're coming into the reading with the King of Swords reversed. What I find interesting, Capricorn, about your spread here is you're coming into the reading with the King of Swords reversed, but then the first card that popped out is the Queen of Swords upright. So I feel, Capricorn, like you are you're trying to convince yourself that this relationship's over, or that it's done, you move past it, you know? And I feel as though this is far from the truth. Now, I'm not teasing you, or I'm not jumping all over you, just saying, based upon what I'm getting here for the general energy for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I feel as though like you're embodying this energy. Let's see, for the sake of the cards, it could be dealing with a Pisces, maybe a Gemini. You could maybe possibly be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. But I feel as though like you're trying to, how can I say, you're trying to like talk to yourself in a maybe disrespectful manner. Like you're really trying to convince yourself. And I also feel like because of this, you're feeling frustrated. And this frustration is bleeding off into your interactions with other people. People are noticing and they're seeing that you're very maybe uptight because of the situation. I'm not saying that that's how you are normally. That's far from the truth. But I'm saying because of this situation. Because Capricorn, like, you're an earth sign. very practical, very, traditional as well, but extremely practical. They call Capricorn, the father of the zodiac. And you usually are the one that, people go to get that solid foundation or that solid advice, that really hits home and kind of just puts people back on their path. It's a great trait. But I feel like this month you're not taking that advice. You're not taking your own advice in a sense. You are, Capricorn, that there's some unfinished business here. There's some really just avoidance of really what's in front of you. I feel like a lot of your subconscious is just leaking out. And I feel like you're becoming very distraught by it. Things are coming to the surface that you thought were either gone or that you thought maybe you dealt with. And I feel like you're trying desperately to stuff it all back down. But that room is no longer available. That door that you opened up, that closet, let's say, that closet that you opened up, it's bolted shut now, and whatever's out is out, and you must you must place it somewhere else, or now I think you're forced to just deal with it. And I feel, Capricorn, like you did try at one time to see this, and I feel like you did attempt it as well. And I really feel like this is about a relationship or a partnership. But then, it's general, so it can be about anything. Just apply it to your situation. But I do feel like there's some deception going on. But I don't feel like it's deception with the other party. I feel like, going back to what I'm saying about like you're lying to yourself. You're trying desperately to convince yourself that this relationship or this partnership or this maybe newly found or newly experienced venture, that it's just gone. Like, it's like, okay, well, we're not going to deal with it. Like, oh, okay, whatever, that's fine. Like, we're just going to move on. Like, but you can't move on because that closet's now shut. It's bolted down. And I feel like maybe right now, Capricorn, you're choosing maybe some of your desires over your needs. And I also feel like you have been doing this for a while, and I think that it has served a purpose for quite some time now. But at the same time, now it's not. Now you're forced to look at it. It's in your face now. And it's really coming up. And I feel, Capricorn, like because you stuffed it down for so long that you don't really know how to deal with it. You're having some difficulties even perceiving it or even trying to approach it. Like there's no method. And Capricorn, you're all about the method and the tradition and how do we get to point C? Well, we do point A. We get to point A and we accomplish A, and then we then that leads us into B, and then we accomplish B and we get to C. Like there's a method to, I don't call it the madness, but there's a method to the situation, to the accomplishment. But that's not working anymore because this isn't over, Capricorn. It's alive, and I feel like that's bringing up a lot of fear in you. And going back to what I was saying about your desires over your needs, I feel like avoiding this Lover's card or this Gemini, if that's the case for you, it's like a double-edged sword almost. Like maybe you feel like you won't be happy with this person or with this partnership, but then you're miserable without it. So I feel like it's tough because I'm even having trouble kind of explaining this. But I do feel like there are really some decisions to be made, or a decision to be made, because I feel like there are a lot of different aspects that are involved in it or with it that are attached to it. But there's ultimately one decision. And I also feel, Capricorn, like now there's only one choice left. I also feel that as well. So like it's not even a decision, it's being pushed into it. And I feel, Cap, like you believe that if you just ignore it and you don't approach it, even though it's sitting right there, like, I mean, it's like the white elephant is like larger than the room right now. Like if you don't, or if you stuff it down and you don't pay attention to it and you just continue to ignore and go around the elephant, you know, like I feel like you think that it's going to bring you out of misery or it's just going to disappear, but it's not going to disappear because it's disappeared for way too long now. And the Seven of Cups here, Seven of Tides, can speak of the illusion of success. I feel like this is the illusion, and I feel like that's why the Jester or the Page of Swords here is reversed. You know, the Page of Swords in a love reading, to me, can kind of indicate someone who kind of stalks, or someone who like is like looking at like someone's Facebook, someone who's kind of, you know, trying to gather information, but then they don't tell anyone, or they're studying from afar, you know. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on. And it's funny how it's underneath the Lover's card here. And I feel like you're trying to just fill it out, but you don't. I also feel like you don't want this to exist almost a little bit too. But I feel like it's a need now. It maybe was a want at one time, but now it's a need, and now it's like almost like undeniable. And I feel like that's why I think it's the only choice that's left. And I feel like it's time to re-examine this. It's time to start communicating with yourself a little bit more effectively. Because I feel like the communication is off right now with yourself in terms of what you need versus what you want. And this is very conflicting energy here. This doesn't make sense. Like, you know, the King adds to the environment in which the Queen maintains. How is thing? Okay, we can look at it like this, Capricorn. Like when I said that, this popped up in my head. The King, in terms of being reversed, you know, he can add negativity, but then the Queen maintains it. So it's maintaining the negativity. And I'm also picking up on like waiting around as well, maybe for the positivity to come through. But if there's no work towards it, how is anything going to manifest from it in terms of positivity if everything is negative within the environment? And now we can also relate this to maybe a partnership, you know. One person is avoiding this, being very judgmental, being very, when I'm saying judgmental, that's the King of Wind right here, reverse. Also maybe like cutting communication off, and not just, and also cutting emotion off to see the truth, but you're causing your own demise. You know, one of you is, and then the other one is kind of just lingering, like just kind of in the abyss, like kind of just waiting there. And it's funny how, you know, King of Swords reverse, Queen of Swords reverse, upright, and then the Lover's card, and then the Moon card reverse, like in that order. The deception, but I don't really. I guess we can maybe say, Cap, like, you know, between one of you guys there is deception, but I feel like it's, you know, deception indicated is when the Moon card is reversed for me. That's what I usually say. But I feel, Cap, like it's more you. And I feel like you're catching this about yourself now. Like it's like I'm saying, it's there in your face. And it served you up to a certain purpose to ignore it. And then, you know, you would maybe come out of a period of worrying, or you would come out of a period of anxiety. You would come out of a period of sleepless nights, like when you would stuff it down. But now, like, it's back to the door. Like I literally hear, like, almost like a prison cell, like closing. You know, like that's it. You can't enter or you can't exit anymore. Everything got thrown out. Like there's a new tenant, you know, that moved in, and now all your stuff is out on the floor, like, and now it's in your face and you must deal with it. And it's tough, I can feel it. but you're going to have to revisit that. You have to deal with this now. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with, honesty. You're going to have to really check in with yourself, and also, Capricorn, picking up understanding why you stuffed it down for so long. Because when people stuff things down for that long, it must be that bad. That it must be that challenging. Let me use that word instead of bad. It must be that challenging. I mean, if, you don't really want to consciously work on it. And I feel like you're at this point in your life now where like you're seeing you're seeing all your stuff on the floor, right? But then you only have so much room to take what you need. But what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose this relationship in terms of working on it and stop denying the pivotal impact that it has on you? Or are you going to take everything else and just walk away, But I feel like that's not going to solve it. I'm not saying that you need to jump into this relationship but you need to approach it. I feel like there's a lot of avoidance. There's a lot of not wanting to cooperate. And it's really starting to take a toll on you subconsciously as well. Like I'm saying, it's bleeding out, I feel like, into your relationships with other people, like your everyday life. And this person or this situation, whatever it may be for you, it's not really going in your favor. Like, it's just time to see it. It is what it is right now. And this deception indicated moon card here reversed, like you now seeing or suffering the repercussions of your avoidance, Like, we have to deal with things, Cap. Like, they're going to catch up to us. They always do. And when we don't work at things when they get presented to them, when they get presented at that point in time and we just kind of ignore them, they end up being triggers for us, unconscious triggers. And then when a similar situation arises upon a different time, we don't know how to deal with it. And then it leads to anger, and it leads to popping off. Possibly popping off at the mouth as well. Like, I'm not saying you're doing that, but I'm saying it's all of the essence, It's the package deal. It's what comes with it. And I feel like that's why the King of Swords is here reversed. Because I feel like, like I'm saying, going back to at one time, this relationship or this partnership or this circumstance, you were honest with it. And I feel like when you were honest with the Capricorn, you felt a lot freer. You felt a lot more secure in yourself and in your decisions. So is it really that bad where you now must renege on that free spirit and then stuff this free spirit down to continue living in agony, like by avoiding it? You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I feel the confliction here, like it has a lot to do with these two cards here. It's embodying these two traits and not choosing where to go. I mean, Swords, King of Swords reversed, Queen of Swords upright, Page of Swords reversed. Not even wanting to understand it. The avoiding of going back and understanding it, And I mean, King of Pentacles reversed. This is someone who has their rose-colored glasses on. This is someone who, is all about what they want to do, which is fine, but not when it involves someone else or it involves another person or situation. Because it's not just you that's involved in this, I feel. Two of Swords reversed. Some people or some readers will say, oh, this means that you're coming out of a period of, of being indecisive. You maybe could be dealing with the Libra or maybe an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. But I feel like this is more like you're going to be forced to make that decision now, where like it's going to lead you down this road regardless, because it's haunting you. It's becoming very debilitating on you. And then, I mean, we finish up here in terms of the advice cards with the Five of Pentacles or the Five of Garden. feeling left out, feeling mental isolation, materialistically as well, isolation in general. But this is also avoidance. Why do we feel left out? Because we don't want to approach the issue and put the cheese on the cracker. Like when I see the Five of Pentacles, sometimes I pick that up. You're gonna have to put the cheese on the cracker already. Like, it's not working out in your favor anymore. You know? I can't even say too much because there's really nothing left to say. But then you're putting more work in avoiding it. You're putting more work into avoiding it than putting enough work into it to maybe possibly solve it, or to just cope with it, or to come to an understanding with it. It's so much more energy to avoid a Capricorn. Like, oh my God. Way more energy. Then you must ask yourself, why? Let's pull a Jesus card. Thou shalt love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Mark 12:30. And then we also have, sorry guys, the spread's a little messed up here. I am the good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. John 10:11. So, you're going to have to just trust that things are going to work out. Because trusting this is not working either. And it's funny when it says to trust the Lord, your higher power, who or whatever it is that you confide in. It's all the same source, you know? With your heart, with your soul, and with your mind. Desires over needs. And the shepherd, he leads the sheep. He's a leader. He's the controller, but in a positive sense, of course. He makes sure that they're protected, because he knows that all of those different sheep, or we can look at it as different aspects in your life, they're dependent upon his discernment. And I feel like there are other people that are involved in this, whether it's 1, 2, 3, whatever the case may be for you. They're involved in this. And are you doing a great job of protecting from instability, protecting from fear, protecting from anguish? But I don't think you're protecting yourself right now, Capricorn, so people then can't depend on you. But you're going to have to depend on yourself, I feel, as well. Depend on your higher self, on your higher being, on your higher consciousness. But you're going to have to do it with all your mind, body, and soul. You have to do it. Back to, you have to do it with all three aspects, Capricorn. You can't just do it with one. And that's what I'm saying. I'm feeling like this has come to a halt. Like, it's time to see what it really is. Because it's going to take all those aspects in terms of, you know, your heart, your soul, and your mind. Because it's become that big, it's become that grand, that prodigious, now where it's like, that's the only choice, going back to that. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. John 14:27. Fear, Capricorn. That's what it is. We can't live our life in fear. And this card here, the Five of Pentacles, that's specifically fear. And this is also not accepting the help, not seeing what's really there available for you. You can no longer be afraid, because look at what it's got you, look at the predicament that it's brought you to, or has you currently in. I don't know, Cap. You're going to have to figure this one out. You know, you can't go around the issue. You must go through it. All right, Cap. You can do it. Make better decisions. I know you can do it. Stop trying to avoid it. You have to go through it, okay? Check the description box if you'd like to book a reading with me. We can look at this a little bit, you know, delve more into this and see where the roots lie. You know, see where the fear lies. Let's put it that way. And also check out Mark 12:30, John 14:27, and John 10:11. Or you could just read the whole book, the whole chapter, you know, like Mark 12, John 14, and John 10. I'm telling you, there's going to be something in there. All right, Capricorn, I'll see ya.